So on this journey of 52 weeks of why, I've had the privilege of speaking to people, very good friends that have joined me on this journey over the past few months, or past month, I should say. And it's really helped me as an exploration of my why. Coming into this, I thought I knew what my why was, and I still do, but I think I'm getting more into it with a fine tooth comb as a result of hearing other people go into detail about theirs, and how motivated they are about their why, and how it motivates them. Um, Very good special guest today who I've had the privilege of meeting through Fairway Ignite, the coaching company that I'm a part of. Before I get into that introduction, though, I want to share a quote from Simon Sinek, who is the originator of this concept of know your why. And the quote is: the goal for us as individuals is to know our why so that we can more easily find the right tree and the right nest. The goal for an organization is to know its why in order to attract the right birds. And the goal for each team within the company is to make sure that they have the right birds in each nest, those who will work together most effectively to contribute to the organization's higher purpose and cause. I think that that one you can kind of interchange family for work and family for career, understanding that you're having children who are part of your nest. But I just love that analogy of the right tree and the right nest. So without further ado, my guest today is Katie White. Katie is a fellow employee of Fairway Independent Mortgage. We had the privilege of meeting through the coaching company within Fairway called Fairway Ignite. We worked on a project together to help Fairway Ignite. And Katie, first, let me thank you for being here. I know it was tough to get our schedules together to talk today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Great. So Katie is in Austin, Texas, one of my favorite cities in the whole United States, has been there for 14 years, and is a single mom of a 2, an 8, and a 10-year-old. Very busy life, I can only imagine. She is a coach with Fairway Ignite, works with Mortgage Marketing Animals, and is in Tony Robbins Master University. Excuse me, let me say that again, Master University. She's been with Fairway for 3 years, in real estate for 14, and oversees a small team of 3 people. So glad you're here, Katie. Please share with us your why.
My why is really teaching, educating, and empowering others. I really enjoy giving that back. Growing up, it really showed me that if that became my why, I could help others in situations, empower themselves and impact themselves. And of course, my family is part of my why, but it's really, truly giving people the resources and empowering, impacting their lives so they can do that for others going forward.
So when you came about this why, is this something that happened when you were 15 and still in school, that you realized and woke up one day as a teenager that this was it, and that this was going to be your motivation, or was this after you were an adult?
It was more so as an adult, as a teenager. My uncle, I grew up in a very small town, and my uncle basically told me that I would be a nothing. And so I'm a little stubborn and rebellious, and I was not going to accept that. And I figured the only way to make something of myself would be to get educated and get informed. And by doing that, it has, you know, blossomed me into where I am today. But then I can help others know that they can make that choice for themselves.
First, having that negative influence, of course, for so many of us, being told that we'll never make it, or we can't do it, or you won't succeed, is a good catalyst, a good kick in the rear to get us moving. Did you have an empowering person or an educator that on the other end of the sphere was a positive influence that kind of helped you get to this conclusion that you wanted to be this way?
I think what happened for me is I saw people in the outside world that were different and they had different lives. And I'm like, well, if they can do it, why can't I? And so when you see those pictures out there in your universe, you're like, well, let's figure out what they're doing. And I'm sure I can do that too. And just kind of surrounding yourself by people that are doing it.
Yeah, so the journey, how cool that the journey began with yourself then, right? That you were the catalyst, that there wasn't one teacher or one person that picked you up and
Mhm.
carried you, but instead it was you wanted to prove the naysayer wrong, and you took the
Exactly.
initiative. Yeah, yeah, you took the initiative yourself to do that. So um, when you began this journey of learning how you could teach, empower, and educate and impact other people. Is this something? Is this how you arrived with Tony Robbins? Is this how you arrived with Ignite? What was your first step when you realized that this was your why to fulfill it?
I think that does have a lot to do with it, honestly. I joined the mortgage marketing animals 5 years ago. And, there were little pops of information along the way. But when someone pours into you and shows you that you are a person that is able and can make things happen, you start believing it. The more you hear it, the more you believe it. And then you're like, you can go to the next level because you're being empowered by others. So my goal is to empower others how I was empowered, because that was amazing. When I joined the mortgage marketing animals, I was a brand new loan officer closing 2 units a month. And I blossomed because they believed in me. Fairway Ignite does the same thing, and I love it truly. Coaching others is a passion for me because I'm helping empower them to blossom to where they deserve to be, if that's their desire and their destiny.
Nice. It's a perfect fit for anybody in the coaching seats to want that to be their mission. So um, when you are arising in the morning and you're getting the gears moving for the day, how does this why of teaching, empower, and educating get you moving and get you motivated for the day?
I have a little whiteboard in my bathroom, and my kids read it in the morning too. But I love waking up every day because there is something we can do that will touch another that day. We may not know it when we wake up in the morning, but it will happen. And I have a little saying, I change it out, but what will be the one thing I do today to put a smile and impact another? Or my kids have to do selfless acts. And then we share them at dinner because I think that really empowers us as humans.
So I'm going to jump to sort of the end of the day, but normally I'd go straight to the end of the day. But you hit on something that's interesting to me. So when you guys get home at the end of the day and you have your dinner table conversation as a family, um, you start out with this sort of why message at the beginning of the day, and then you double back over
Mhm.
dinner and address how that why was fulfilled. Kind of run me through how that works and how you know and encourage your kids about that why being fulfilled over a meal.
It's really turned into something fun too, because now they know I'm going to ask, what was your selfless act today? And if they don't have one yet, now they do. But in the very beginning, they would maybe sometimes forget while they were at school. And so they would have to figure something out before dinner because otherwise they weren't going to eat their dinner. But it just, it's that if you keep doing it, it's a habit now. And we just had a conference, and one of my oldest son's teachers was like, he's always helping clean up the classroom. I never have to ask him. It's just amazing. And I was just kind of smiling in my heart. I'm like, yep, it's that selfless act.
Yeah, that we're truly building a foundation for our kids of how we hope they will act when we're not around. And it's so nice to hear somebody else reinforce that whatever we're doing is working, right? Because we never really get to see it firsthand
Yeah,
until
exactly.
somebody comes and tells us. Yeah. Um, so on your end now, when you rest your head on the pillow at the end of the day, and not necessarily relating to your selfless acts for the day, but you're teaching, empowering, and educating that why that you have that has motivated you through the morning and day. How do you know at the end of the day that that why has been fulfilled?
I have a practice where I do a gratitude journal every night, and I list out at least 5 things that I was grateful for that happened that day. And typically, one or two of those things will touch hand in hand with my why. And that really helps calm me and be able to go to sleep as well, knowing that, you just feel fulfilled in your heart.
It makes the act of going to sleep and clearing your mind that much easier, I think, when you're putting pen to paper at the end of the day. Do you have a practice where you go back and review those on a quarterly or annual or monthly basis, or do they just go in the journal and that's it?
I review them. Usually, I try to review them quarterly. Just, as a fun thing. Sometimes I'll review them with my kids, depending on where they are. I have gratitude journals for them too, and we just kind of make it a fun family, sharing night, because I think it is important to remember all the things we're so grateful for, all the blessings we have, because I really need them to remember that too. I grew up very poor, and so I'm very instilled into them that not everyone lives their life like they get to. So it's important to remember the differences.
The lesson is still continuing to be taught as you go through the gratitude journal and your meals together. How impactful! I can't wait to see them and meet them when they're grown, because it can't help but have an impact on who they will end up being as adults. That
Hmm.
practice of gratitude, everything that I'm reading personally, some of my mentors that I've never met, like John Gordon and Andy Andrews, who preach this message of gratitude and positivity. There's definitely something there, and I think it definitely has an impact on our mindset every single day. Any final thoughts before we finish up?
No, I'm just so grateful to be here. And I think it's so important to get in your core and really figure out what passion drives you, because when we live for passion, our life is so much more full and beautiful, and we're in a beautiful state always, and it feels freeing.
I can tell you that in my interactions with you, within the coaching circuit and at events that we've attended together, your desire to have an impact is obvious. Like, I can see it in your interactions with people, and when we've had dinner with a large group, there was always a level of interaction between you and other people at the table that was beyond the surface level things that I think we're also used to talking about when we're at
Hmm.
events like that. That it definitely it shows that your why comes through in every interaction that I've been in with you, and interactions that I've witnessed you be a part of. Katie, thanks so much for spending your time and for sharing your why with us. Genuinely appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you again soon.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.